Good morning. Um, I'm so excited to have um, everyone here this morning. I know this is a lot, very early for many people this morning, and again on a Monday morning. But thank you for taking out time to join. Um, really appreciate your time. My name is Keba Megoye. Some minutes ago, we had the opening ceremony, which was the time to again re-emphasize why we are hosting this hackathon and what the participants stand to gain. Welcome and sit back and enjoy the conversation. Okay, um, let's get it started. I'm sure some of the panelists will join us in the course of the conversation. We still have like about 40 minutes thereabouts to discuss everything tech in Africa, women in tech in Africa, and all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Zandile Mokasi. I hope I pronounced that name properly. And Zandile, I would like us to just start a conversation. It looks like a one-on-one, but I'm sure other hosts will join us as we progress. Of course, myself and Zandile, we've had several conversations over the past years about tech in Africa, and I'm also happy to say that Zandile has done a lot in South Africa when it comes to women in tech and all that. So join me this morning in welcoming Zandile as she shares our journey, and then we have just have a conversation. Zandile, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
As a way of introduction, I would just like you to I want people to hear it from the horse's mouth. I would like you to introduce yourself, and then I think we can kick it off from there.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for the invite. Really honored to be part of this African Women Innovation Hackathon. By way of introduction, so my name is Zandile Mkhwanazi, and I was about to say my age, but women don't reveal their age. But no, I'm kidding. So I'm 30 years old, and I've been in the tech space now for the past 8 years. So I think my journey started back when I was in varsity. So I did computational and applied mathematics. And at the time, I didn't really also have an idea of, what direction I wanted to go with my career. I was just going with, I suppose, what everybody was saying is like the great industries to get into. But I really fell in love with tech. And I thought this is something that I think I can do for the rest of my life, building solutions that can really impact people's lives. I was like, wow. I remember when I first built my my first app, entered a competition and won, and I thought, okay, this is amazing. Like, I could build technology for a living. And I think when I first entered the tech space, the first company startup that I worked for, that's when it hit me that there aren't a lot of women in the space back then anyway, even now to a degree. But I thought, I am solution orientated, so I'm going to do something about it. If I'm seeing that there's no women, then, let me sort of host a hackathon. I don't know, hackathon was what I thought of. And from that hackathon, essentially have women participate. So let it be a women-only hackathon to give them exposure and to show companies that, we are here. We want to be part of the space. So the narrative that there aren't enough women, I don't think applies anymore. I think there's a lot of women. What we need is doors to be opened. We need opportunities for these young women. And for the past 8 years, I suppose, I've dedicated myself to Go Code and growing it in South Africa, and hopefully in the future expanding to other countries in Africa. Yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Thanks for that very interesting introduction. And as we're introducing yourself, I'm so happy to have Mojoyin joining us from Bumi, and Kemisola Bolaniwa is also on call. I'm excited because these are ladies that, well, I've been following, and they are doing fantastic stuff. So good morning, Mojoyin, and good morning, Kemisola, and then I'm excited that you're joining us this morning. I would like us, where we are right now is Zandili just introduced ourselves. I also want Mojoyin to, if you don't mind, if you can see your face, we want to know you and want the audience also know you. And let me also say that this session is going to come live on our YouTube channel for the audience who are not on the call right now. And I'm sure that a lot of people will find it valuable to listen to your journey and all that. So without much ado, I will let me call Kemisola first to just a brief introduction, your journey, and anything you want us to know as a people, as ladies in Africa. It looks like I'm the only guy in the room, but it's okay. So please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Thank you for having me on the program. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bolaniwa Kemisola. I'm the founder CEO of Nestware Technology. I'm a robotics engineer and embedded system engineer. And I can tell you, when it comes to tech, oh my God, I have those tech skills. So I'm an inventor, I'm an innovator. I just invented a smart bar device that detects early-stage breast cancer. So let me talk about what we do in our company. We have the first wearable technology startup in Nigeria. We do wearable tech. I don't know if you know about that. Wearable, where we design and develop technology one close to the body by embedding programmable electronics. So it's basically putting electronics and sensors on clothing to solve health issues and safety, also to augment fashion. So that's basically what we do at Nestware Technology. And my journey so far, oh my God, it's been long anyway. Not now. My journey in STEM, my journey in tech has been a long journey way back I can trace it back to my secondary school. I think that was where I derived that passion for STEM, for technology back in my secondary school. I remember then no more. I offer STEM courses, physics, chemistry, and mathematics. But what actually deepened my interest is when I joined Jet Club. I do say that. Jet Club. Now is still in school. I was so happy when I met some students at the last expo that was organized in Abuja here. I met some students from different parts of the country coming up with that project. I was so excited that, this club is still in school. So this club actually helped me. It's Junior Engineering Technician Science. I don't even know about it. And this club helped to deepen my interest in technology, in STEM generally, because I was able to do more hands-on. Our way of education in Nigeria here is paperwork all through. You have to be on board. But with that club, I was able to lay my hands on something majorly practical, and it's helped a lot with the physics. Oh my God, all those laws we were taught in physics, I was able to practicalize it, to use it. Because I noticed the real life application of all those things and some of all these things stick to your brain than paperwork. So that's made me now to advocate for STEM education. I'm an advocate of STEM education, advocate STEM education, and I use hands-on based workshop. That's what I do. I have a workshop that I take around majorly for girl child to bridge the gender gap in STEM education, but majorly hands-on. No, I believe that hands-on it helps a lot than paper writing things on the board and all of that. When the people see real life application, and be you girl, be you a boy, when you see real life application of those things, it will attract your interest the more, and also it will help you, help you a lot with whatever it is. It's not about STEM right now. So the journey starts from there, go for competition and all that. then when I graduated, when I graduated from secondary school, I studied electrical engineering from the university, and that's how the journey has been so far. And I got a job where I got this robotics thing. Oh my God, because it's not something you go to any university in Nigeria to learn. No. And where I can tell you, it was self-learning at first. I learned on my own, but with the help of where I worked with a company that does more of educational robotics. But my boss was so awesome, because he gave us the opportunity, he gave us the resources for self-learning, to learn on our own. Give you material, just send you material in the middle of the night, go and learn this thing, go and research about it. And that was how it started. So I was able to build myself on the skills. So that has been my journey before I venture into wearable technology. So that has been it.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. I'm sure we're going to come back to that wearable technology, because, like I said, a lot of people would eventually get to listen to you on YouTube and other channels that we have. And then also our ecosystem is about 20,000 membership. So I'm sure this gonna go. And the idea is to motivate women. I'm actually inspired by your story so far. Zandile's story is also something inspiring, doing great stuff. And also you're like blowing me off already. And I know Mojo is ready for us. And thanks for joining. And we're all here to hear from you, your journey, and take it from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Kay. It's been amazing listening to all the wonderful women who have spoken about their journey to tech. So basically, I work in the business aspect of tech. My journey to tech started. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
Okay. Is it
Yes.
breaking or is it smooth?
Even though, yeah, it's a bit breaking, but again, let's see how it goes. We're hearing you.
Okay, cool. So my journey to tech started 7 years ago. When I started working in the business aspect, I saw that opportunity to build tech businesses, to be that business development face in the tech space. And I think I've had 5 business roles in tech, and it's been explosive. It's been explosive for me. The opportunity is great. I started from with fintech. I moved to career HR tech. Then I also moved again back to fintech, and right now I'm in cloud computing. That's infrastructure. Platform as a service with Boomi, and it's been amazing. While in Nigeria, I was leading API integration conversations, those strategic partnerships conversations. When I moved to the UK and I started seeking opportunities, in tech, and cloud computing came. It's been quite challenging because there's so much to learn. I'm learning about atoms, molecules, integration, low code, EDI, that's electronic data interchange. There's just so much I'm learning, even though I'm in the business aspect. My current role is customer success at Boomi. But it's for you to be able to advise customer, for you to be able to support customers, you need to be well grounded, in the technical knowledge, and it's been very interesting, very explosive journey for me. And when you reached out to me, I'm like, okay, anything about mentorship, building women, I'm passionate about it. I'm also an author. I wrote a book for women, She Evolves. So I'm very passionate about, anything that has to do with women, female empowerment, and I have a 6-year-old daughter who is thoroughly interested in STEM. So this is an amazing platform. And thank you very much, Kay.
Yeah, Mojo, thanks so much for this introduction. I'm so excited because you guys actually have unique experiences. So I'm just going to go right in right now. Kemisola said something when she was talking. And I remember when I was in secondary school, we also had a similar, I had a similar experience for when we talk about Jet Club. So I'm going to come to Kemisola now. Do you think, because I don't think Jet Club actually exists again, do you think this has actually affected the way tech is being adopted by women in Africa? Would you say that? Emisola, please unmute yourself. Or
Okay, it's already. I've unmuted. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm saying that Jet Club still exists in schools because I met a couple of innovators, young innovators, secondary schools at the just completed expo, Science and Technology Expo, organized by Ministry of Science and Tech here in Abuja at Eagle Square. I met them. I was like, oh, so we still have this club, and they brought amazing things. They came to exhibit amazing projects. So they still exist in school. And why I said about Jet, fine, yes, I've been a good contributor of my own journey. So whatever I talk about my journey, I must talk about checks and why I was able to lay my hands on all those things. I mean, to do more of practical, to do more of hands-on. And I attended secondary girls' school, so it's all girls' school. That's that is the secondary school I attended, and I can tell you, checks, just like what happened to me, just like my own experience. I would say that has been a good experience to other girls then, other girl child out there then. And I can tell you it's a good contributor. It has contributed massively because you'll be able, I mean, we were able to do all those things, to do practicals. That's a major thing. The practical we do in physics, the practical we do during physics course and classes, it's minimal, for 5 minutes period, it's minimal. But we came up with projects. I can remember that I represented my state, the state, I mean, where my school was then, the state at the national jet competition, and we developed a radio transmitter and receiver. That was a turnaround for me. I mean, something that really changed my life. I can tell you that. Since then, I've had it in mind to be an innovator. My partner then now a medical doctor. She's a medical doctor now. I don't like medicine in a way. So I decided to go through the path of engineering because I don't like medicine. So it has been a contributor. And for other girls in the club then that are not able to they were not able to go for competition or all that, but they were in the club and they're doing fine. Now they're doing good. So it's a good contributor. Why? Because we do more of hands-on real life application of whatever you're taught, which is the major thing. And that is why I base my advocacy on workshop for girls, STEM workshop to break gender gap, for them to put their hands on all those things. Majorly automation. I do more of automation with them. Automation using microcontroller and all that. So bringing software and hardware together. Now let them see how it works. How the thing is to be applied. So that is it. It's a good contribution to get the interest of girl child in technology. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that answer. I was actually looking forward to hearing more on that, and you really nailed it. I want to come to Zandile, and let me also mention that we've got a lot of young girls from universities all over Africa joining this hackathon. Would have been great if some of them are on this call, but again, we're going to share with every participant. Zandile, my question would be that, what do you think for someone trying to get into tech, or for a girl, let's say for a girl in Kigali trying to get into tech, what do you think such individual should be looking at as a starting point? What are the basic building blocks to just launch into a career in tech?
Thank you so much, Kay. I think the first thing for me would be to find a community. Find people that are, building, for example, in South Africa, Go Code. I know there's a whole lot of other communities across the African continent. Try and get into that. It makes it so much easier when you have other young people walking the same journey with you. Always trying to do something by yourself, I wouldn't recommend it. But sure, if you don't have a community, there's always YouTube, or the University of YouTube, as they call it now, where there's so much information where you can learn practically anything on YouTube. But I'd say find a community that you can join, because you need people, that are also trying to get into that space, people to guide you. I know we talked a lot about mentorship, but it's so important to find a mentor. And a lot of, young people ask me, how do I find a mentor? Where do I find social media? Like, social media has made it so easy to access people that you would never have access to. Example, LinkedIn. I don't know about the other platforms, but particularly LinkedIn, because that's where people are there. They're professional. You can see their career. At first, I would say just follow what they're doing, right? I personally, if someone that I don't know, never met, just sends me a DM, be my mentor, I don't personally think that's the right way to go about it. I always see mentorship like dating, right? If I see you and I like you, I don't just come and say, hey, be my boyfriend. You need to get to know a person first. And that's the same with finding a mentor. You need to sort of, follow them, comment, engage with them, like on the open platform. And then when you see that, okay, this is someone that I really enjoy interacting with, and I think I can learn a lot from, then you can say, hey, please be my mentor. I'm trying to get to where you are right now. And there's always a misconception that, your mentor must be someone who's 30 years into the industry. That's not true. You can find a university student that just completed, and has just graduated, and ask them to be a mentor if you are still in university. You don't have to go for someone who has 30 years experience. So my advice for young girls out there that want to get into the space, definitely follow the different communities across the continent, see what they're doing, see how you can get into those communities and then start learning with them. And then try and find people on social media that you can follow and learn from. Let them be your mentor. I have mentors that I've never met, but I follow their journeys. I listen to their podcasts. I learn from them and their stories without necessarily it being a one-on-one. So that's another way to do it. And I think the biggest thing is don't give up. Sometimes tech can be, really difficult. I know, trying to learn the new technologies as they come, it's exhausting. It can really get exhausting, but always have that curiosity. Yeah, you have to have that curiosity mind. You have to want to learn, want to explore. So, when metaverse is coming, doesn't mean you have to know everything about it, but read up on it, watch YouTube videos. So always keep engaged, know what's happening, because technology is evolving. What you know today might not be relevant tomorrow. So you have to make sure that you always understanding what is the next new thing, how do I make sure I upskill myself and make sure that I position myself to be someone that the industry wants. So yeah, I think that would be my key things.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I have a follow-up question for you, Zandile. I know you have the biggest women community, girls community in South Africa. And so if you are to evaluate, do you think that you've got the kind of result that you want in terms of women coming and in terms of interest now? You say that you got are you impressed? Are you impressed by the kind of response that you get from women in terms of curiosity, in terms of interest? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think it's a variation, right? We have some really fantastic women that come into our programs and into our community, and they love the space, they love technology, and they just blow me away. Some of them right now, we just placed in the UK, and they've left South Africa and they're living in the UK, which is amazing. It talks to the caliber of talents that we have. But I think a lot still has to be said about confidence. So we still have people wanting to be in the space, or young women wanting to be in the space, starting, and then, along the way, just giving up and saying, this is too difficult, I can't do it, I don't belong. So imposter syndrome plays a role, and we've realized it's something that we need to figure out how to combat. How do we assure someone that you have what it takes? There's nothing to it. If the next person can do it, you can definitely do it. So as much as like a lot of our community members are fantastic, I think there's still a lot of young women that still feel that this is not for them. It's too male dominated, like they just don't belong in the space. And I think that's what we're working on now. How do we make sure that anyone who wants to be in the space feels like they belong, feels like it can be challenging, but I can learn, I can grow, and I can be part of this community. So that's one of the challenges that we face, and it has to do with confidence, self-confidence in your ability, in your skills, in you as a person. So that's like one of the things that I really, really want to make sure that we tackle and make sure that young girls, especially, and that's why our programs also start now at like primary school level, like 8 years old, because we want them to grow up with that confidence. By the time you hit teens and then sort of social stereotypes come into play, it's almost kind of too late to reverse the whole psychology. So if you start them young, you kind of, you prepare them to be sort of well-rounded adults that are confident in themselves, that they know that I've been doing technology since I was 8 years old, so they have that thing. So it's important also for us that let's start them young. Let's make sure that the next generation of young women don't have these imposter syndromes. And we're no longer talking about the gender divide or gender gap in tech, but we have equal opportunity for anyone that wants to be in the space.
Thank you so much. When you talk about catching them young, I really want to I want to agree with you on that, because like Kemi Sola rightly said, our journey started from secondary school, and when you start creating that interest, you definitely get a handful of girls turning to ladies, turning to women, and then doing great stuff in IT and in tech generally. So I agree, and I also think that major players within the ecosystems, big technology companies, should have a way of driving this growth, because, like, for yourself, you can't do it alone. I know you do a lot of stuff with AWS. I know also you do stuff with Microsoft and the rest. These are the kind of people that we want to come to our ecosystem and help people like yourself to build communities, make it grow, and then drive the women inclusion in tech. So I'm going to move away from community right now. I want to talk about challenges women face while transitioning to tech. But while you're speaking, Dayo Omoniyi joined the call. I'm excited to have her on the call. Dayo is a senior manager at Stanbic IBTC. In the course of this conversation, also, I would also want us to listen to her journey and what she has done that had made her to be where she is in career today. But before we take Dayo, I would like to engage with Mojoyi on this one. What are the challenges? And you can speak from a general point of view or from a personal point of view. So what are the challenges women face while transitioning to tech? I've seen a lot of people study maybe chemical engineering, and today they are programmers, they are UI UX designers and all that. So what are the challenges women face generally from your own experience or your point of view?
Okay, so from my experience, I'll talk from the females that I had in my team that were developers.
Okay.
Now, this was about 2018, where I was in a team that we had about 18 developers, and most of them were men, and we had one that was a lady. And the challenge at that time was they had to work all night. They had to, all that routine of working all night. They're trying to deliver on a task, and the lady seemed, it wasn't healthy for her to stay over at work because these guys were staying over at work and all of that. So one challenge I saw was it wasn't, how do I say this? It wasn't inclusive enough to understand that this is a girl on the team. She's good at what she does, but she can't She can't go through that. Oh, we're all at work together, we're all coding together, we have a deadline, and she's there. She can't really have a shower. Like, the guys can go 3 days without bath, without having their shower, but she had to be there. She had to. It was really intense for her, and I think at the end of the day, she had to leave. I'm sure that there are other work situations that don't require all that marathon coding, and I know that the world is moving away from all that marathon coding to low code solutions and all that. But that was one challenge that I saw in that. Then also in the international space, and I'll talk about African women because this is African Women Innovation Hackathon. From my experience, this might not be a general experience, but from my experience, it's almost like when you are hired in an international tech role, it's like as an African woman, it's like you're seen as they just had to meet a target they just had to find an African woman to put in the team. They don't really see you have to really prove your value. They're just seeing you as a diversity hire, and they might contend to you, they might be hostile to you at times, but you really have to stand up. You have to be really confident for you to
Mm.
earn that seat at the table, and you have to add to yourself. And I'm happy that I'm in this network right now, because it's important that we stand firm within ourselves. I have about 4 women in our team that we are from diverse background. We're not Americans, we're not Europeans, and I see that we are all going through this challenge. They just see us as diversity hire, like, oh, what do they have to offer? So these are the two challenges that I've seen from my experience.
Mm. Wow. Very, very, very interesting. I didn't know it would go that way. But again, what have you done? Like, I know you said you have to stay confident and all that. So how have you been able to like weather this storm? I know you've also like got your tooth when it comes to tech. So my question to you will be for anyone around hearing you right now, and I'm also sure that you're not alone in this kind of experience. What would be your word to them? Like how does a day look typically for you? Like when you're going to work, how do you make sure that you always bring your A game? What are the things you do, at least to stay relevant? You know.
Okay. So for me is research and always learning. I'm not from a tech background. I'm from a business background. So there's a need for me to widen my horizon and take a lot of training. In the last few months, I've invested a lot of my time in training. Weekends, I'm supposed to be, resting and all of that. I'm out. I find a place to go and settle down with work and learn trainings, YouTube, Udemy, different courses that I know that are related to my role and would help me
Mm,
succeed. You can't just come with, oh, while I was in Nigeria, I was like the star of my team and all of that, you know. But right here, I know that I have to keep learning, what's like, I think it was Zandali that said, what is relevant today might not be relevant tomorrow. So you have to
very
be on
true.
your toes, doing that research and understanding that you're staying relevant, you're staying knowledgeable, and also preparation. Especially if you're in the international space, you're speaking with people that they have different ways they communicate, they have different terms that they use. You can't just go for any meeting carelessly. You can't just roll
Mm,
out of your bed and you join the Zoom meeting. You have to prepare and know that,
mm,
your contribution has to be, it can't be fluffy. It can't be, you can't just come and just say anything.
mm.
You have to invest in excellence, preparation ahead of every task, and ensure that, you know, you're really investing in yourself, because that's the only thing that will carry you in terms of confidence.
Mm. Thank you so much, Mojoin, for that. And let me also add this. I agree with you on the 100%. And I believe that when you bring your A game, people will definitely get that recognition that you need eventually. Because like you said, it's very easy for one to get pushed aside. But when they know that you always offer value, and you always get that recognition. And then again, you said something that I also want every participant of these hackathons to take on: the fact that you need to keep on improving on yourself. Always getting better at what you do. I also know that if you do that on a consistent basis, you're going to get to where you want to be in your career. Thank you so much for that insight. I'm going to take Dio Money on right now. And I want her to introduce ourselves. We've had a very fantastic conversation from Kemi Sola to Sandile to Mojoye. And like I mentioned, Dio has also grown in her career over time. What I would just want to hear from her at this point is introduction and then our journey so far. And I know our journey was also related to what some of our panelists have already spoken about. Dio, if you are available for us right now, you could unmute yourself and let's hear you.
Thank you so much, Kay, for the opportunity given. And I want to appreciate the other co-panelists as well. I'm glad having to sit together with everyone here. The story of my life. I can say from now to Jesus comes. It's been a very serious journey. Let me put it that way.
Sorry, tell us your role at Stanbic IBTC now.
Okay. I actually look after the business control team and third-party supplier management. Business control team is in charge of finance for technology departments. Is in charge of people-related matters. Is in charge of business reporting, and in charge of technology third-party supplier management team. So I head the team overseeing those 4 areas.
Fantastic.
I actually joined Stanbic as a secretary to the department. So in my course of study, I did secretarial administration. And so anytime I have opportunity to say it anywhere, people wonder, how did I manage? How did I come all the way from being a secretary to becoming an entity in technology field? Of course, I always refer to God, who is a major factor in my life, in the journey of my life, and also determination of becoming whoever you think or you desire to become. I can't overemphasize that. Fine, I think from GS3, I had the mind of becoming a medical doctor. And unfortunately, there are no stories that I want to be sharing. Yeah, it's a long story. You understand? But turning from being, having a plan of being a medical doctor, I found myself doing secretarial administration, having to learn how to type, write shorthand, and all that. The first time I got to the typing pool, I was almost crying that, God, are these the medical equipment that I've ever dreamed in my life to work with? But I summoned courage that Dio, even though you're not a medical doctor, even though that dream looks like not going to be achieved, but then you can make do of whatever thing you have found yourself to do and get the best out of it. So right from that time, I usually tell my colleagues in school then that, man, I want to be a charter secretary. I mean, they're wondering, oh, you just want to get to the peak of this career? And I said, yes. So before I left school, they usually call me chartered secretary everywhere, even in my fellowship, chartered secretary here and there. And out of that desperation of getting to the peak of my career, I actually did my final projects. I wrote that you can convert, move from secretarial administration into other fields. And I listed out so many other fields you can move into. As at that point, I was looking at becoming a barrister. Yes. And at some point, they started calling me barrister all over again from being a charter secretary. And I found myself after NYSC in my organization where I have to work as a secretary, and in a department that is technology. I mean, totally different from what I did in school. But then I made up my mind I want to get to the peak of my career. And I started learning computer. I started moving from every table to the other, trying to set it up and all that. And one day my boss was passing by and he saw me doing some things. I said, Dayo, you have all of a sudden turned to an IT guru. I must tell you, at some point in my career in Stanbic, I actually got IT guru, and that was like the peak of it for me. Like knowing fully well where I started from, how could I have gotten to this? Boy, I can tell you that it's determination. So while there, I wasn't just looking at the fact that, I have come to be the secretary and I'm just doing all things secretary. I mean, at my leisure time, when I know that I'm not responding to mails or doing stuff for my direct boss, I was learning computer, seeing what they were doing and all that. And when the time came for conversion, it was an easier conversation for me and my boss. And that was how I found myself really doing technology things. And all to the glory of God, I'm here now, 14 years, a full manager in an industry where I came in as a secretary. I mean, secretary, people would say the wife of the boss, or you're just there to make tea, you're there to type. But I can tell you for free that it's all about determination. It's all about what you see yourself becoming. One of our colleagues on the panel is actually mentioned preparation the other time. And that's the point. So even though you have that dream of becoming whatever, you won't just hold your hands and say that, yes, that's my dream. What are you doing towards that dream to ensure that you get there at the end of the day? So I was prepared. And when that opportunity was available, it was an easier conversation to be converted as against just holding hands and all that. There are quite a number of things that you need to do as an individual, ensuring that you get to your peak. Of course, to say finance was a challenge when I was on my journey. I would say yes, but I actually fellowship in a church where my reverend usually said that don't see finance as a challenge. Just move on as if nothing is happening. No matter what, you will pull through. And with a very strong support system in and around me, I was able to pull through. And I can say that even as of now, I still learn, I still read every month, I still do lots of training as if I've not even gotten there, because as far as I'm concerned, I've not even gotten there. I'm still seeing myself becoming more and more in this technology, and it has come to stay, and I just have to keep on pressing. So it's a challenge for those who are coming behind, saying that you can actually become what you intend to be. I think I will stop at that. Thank you so much, Kone, for having me.
Thank you, Dayo. Your story, I'm sure it will inspire a lot of young girls who would eventually watch this video, because two things I've taken out of your introduction right now. And it's not also short of what Kemisola had mentioned. It's not short of what Zandile had mentioned. It's not short of what Mojoyin also has mentioned. Determination and personal development. So you actually develop yourself by interacting with a PC, getting your hands dirty and fixing things up. So very exciting and very inspiring story, I must say. I'm going to come back to you, but I'm going back to Kemisola right now, because when I read her story, I'm a fan online. When I read what people say around her, she's very busy. Let me say that. And what really, because you've not mentioned what you invented. I know it, but I want everyone on this call to hear it. I want you to in fact, sell it to this audience. And I'm going to just give you like 1 minute to do that, to inspire us. It's not easy for an African woman to come up with that kind of a thing that you came up with.
All right, thank you, Kay. Anyway, I invented a smart bra device. A smart bra device that detects early stage breast cancer. And the whole idea behind it is to help women, because of the experience I had, because I lost someone to breast cancer. So this is actually that is what brought about the whole idea of the breast cancer and the smart bra. Because coming to those parts of the world, Africa, when we see it at the first stage, at the early stage, when we notice such thing, I think maybe it's lack of awareness. Let me say that. The awareness is not that strong enough because we take it spiritual. You start seeing people going to mountains looking for miracle. Yeah, that was what happened. But you know, it would have gotten to stage 3, stage 4. So aside the awareness, because I've joined I volunteered to so many organizations to create awareness of those things, of cancer generally. And aside that, to help women to check their status right in the comfort of their home, because we have to know that all this existing technology, I mean, the technology they use for cancer detection, they are not something that are readily available for Black women. We have to be better. Mammogram. How many women have the money to go for mammogram? The only thing they go for is ultrasound. It's not even readily available. You have to travel miles before you could access all those technologies. So what can we do? Because in my research, I noticed that I get to put together that early detection saves life. So if you're able to detect that breast cancer at that early stage 0, stage 1, you can be cured. Even in 9 out of 10 cases get cured. So the idea is now to help women check their status regularly, right in the comfort of their home, without them traveling for mammogram, without them exposing themselves to radiation, because mammogram uses radiation anyway, and it's only advisable for women once in a year. You can only do that once in a year, or going for ultrasound. So the idea is for you to have this device in your house, put it on just like other medical devices, put it on, check your reading, take it off after 30 minutes maximum, then you're good to go. And if there's any abnormality, because we use so many technology coming up with us, so many technology, I can tell you that, so many technology aside the sensor. So then you can move on, after taking your readings and it's telling you have a lump, you have a tumor, whatever, you can proceed to the hospital for proper diagnosis. So that's the whole idea behind the smart bra device. And we are working towards SDG agenda to make sure that we reduce the number of women dying of those breast cancer globally, because the global solution, we've been getting responses globally, people calling in from every part of the world. And we want to reduce it by 80% before the end of 2030. So we are doing everything possible to get it out there into the market. Aside that, then to control the price, I think that would be the main thing now. We have so many smart bra out there. It has been done already, though not with our own technology, because that is why we are patented. That's why it's an IP. Our technology is different from what they have there. But the price is not something normal women can afford. So those are part of what we are putting into consideration. Because if we want to achieve that aim of reducing by 80%, then we have to make the cost, effective enough, and make a provision for women that don't have smartphone, because it's embedded with IoTs and IoT device. You need a mobile app, that's API, for you to access the results. So let's think of women that cannot use, that don't have most smartphone. Even some have smartphone, but they don't know how to use it. They only receive and call house, and take pictures anyway. So that kind of woman, how will they be able to access the device? So we're looking at partnership with government to deploy these devices to hospitals, minimum of 50, maybe first phase, to health centers. Health centers are closer to the people. So once in a month, Ministry of Health or Minister of Women Affairs declare a day off for breast checkup, breast screening, whereby they will go to the health center and make use of the devices there. Coming up with, I'm using the web application right now. That will not be a mobile application again, web app, because it's much. So that's the whole idea and initiative behind the smart bra device.
Fantastic. Kemi, thank you so much. In 10 seconds, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What kind of support have you gotten over the years? I know it's not easy to come up with this kind of products. So what has actually been the push allowed you to achieve what you've been able to achieve in a very short time, kind of?
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I would take more than 10 minutes, because that's up to take me back to the issue with hardware. Because now this program is for women, and I advocate for women. I also advocate for hardware, women coming into hardware, because coming to Nigeria, coming to Africa, young people divert their energy towards software than hardware. Why? This have generated so many questions and all that during tech summits, just name it. And the thing everything boils down to the fact that hardware are capital intensive, and they take time before you can be able to actualize them. But even at that, we need people. We can't just be a user of this technology, because most of the technology we use here in Africa is all imported, and that's something we can do ourselves. All the hardwares we use, we import them from China, from the US, from the UK. Why? We can do it. So why channeling all our energy to software? We need people, we need women too, we need youth, in that part of hardware. We need to come up with solutions. We have so many problems, we have so many challenges that we need hardware to solve, not just software. So that's part of why I'm here. So I can use this platform to advocate for that, to talk to young girls, to not just look towards the direction of software. Just try and look at hardware, what we can do. I know they have, there's so many youth there that have the solution. They've done it, but because of money, they just abandon it. Fine, it happens to me anyway. And all through it has been self-funding. We started this development since 2019. It has been self-funding until recently, where we're getting support from government, from private sector. Recently, we even got $10,000 from Standard Chartered Bank. Yeah, Standard Chartered. They give us $10,000. Yes, Women in Technology Incubator Program. We're given 10,000, and support have been coming. But the thing is, we started it. We didn't relate. Okay, let's do this thing. So when people say, "Oh, this thing is coming to light," so it's invisible, then they start coming in. I can see people from all down. They want to buy the IP. White people want to buy the IP. So no. There's a solution for Nigeria. You have to be made in Nigeria. That's for the first time. Let's do that. Made in Nigeria hardware. For the first time. So I would say that the self-funding and hardware can be captured, but at the same time, let's look towards that. Nigeria is full of problems, challenges. Let me put it that way. That needs hardware solution. See what is happening regarding the. Yeah, I know. The train station and all that. We can come up with hardware. We don't need to go to China. I think that's what they're planning to do now, to go to China to get for devices that can help with
China
detection. We can do these things. We can. But if our youth can show them that we can do it, please, we need to channel our energy towards hardware, not just software.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I can listen to you all day. I can see that the passion is there. And I'm also looking forward to a time when we'll bring key stakeholders like NIDA, Ministry of Science and Technology, to come and listen to this kind of conversation, and then see that there are people like in Africa who could build great stuff, solve our problems. It's not every time that you go to China and bring solutions and add to their economy. Thank you so much for what you do. And I'm sure we will, from our own corner, will amplify the message the more. Oh my God. Time, time is not on our side. I would have loved to go all the way. But for time, I'm just going to ask one final question from each of you ladies. And the question is this. So what do you see happening in the future? What is the future for African women in tech? I'm going to start from Dio. What's the future that you see, like in 1 minute? If you can do it less than 1 minute, I want us to close this call before 9:30. So what is the future you foresee? If you want to be a prophet, fine. But what is the future that you foresee in terms of women in tech in Africa?
Sincerely, the future is great. I think the theme for the International Women's Day that we did this year was also talking about ensuring that there are no bias as far as women is concerned. You understand? I also work for an organization that do he for she in terms of empowerment. So in different cadres, you have women being represented at every point in time, so that that barrier, that's glass ceiling is no longer there. I can tell you for free. So it really depends on how serious we are, how energetic we are, ensuring that even as we are being pulled to the top, we are also pulling other women along with us. There's no barrier again. There is no bias again. So the future, I would say, is so great. It depends on what you see yourself becoming. Thank you.
Fantastic. So what I heard you say, The future is great if you're not lazy, if you're ready to, like Mojoyin said earlier on, if you're willing to put in the work, the future is great. Zadile, your video is on. I'm going to take you next.
Thank you so much.
So, what future do you think they have? Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with Daya. I think women now, like, opportunities are there, so we can no longer sit behind, oh, there's no opportunities, oh, it's male dominated. People are there to support you. So it's really up to us. It's up to the young women in this call to take up those opportunities, to show up for themselves, right? I think this generation and people and the women ahead of us, they've showed up for us. They've said, we're opening the doors, no more glass ceilings, now it's your turn. And I 100% agree that it's up to the women now. Like, there's no more excuses. So for me, the future is where we're no longer talking about gender gaps. It's a future where opportunities are there for anyone who wants to take the opportunity. And we're seeing women, I think particularly because, women experience so much. Like, we see the challenges, we see the problems in our communities, in our families. So we are best positioned to come up with these solutions. For example, breast protection. What man is going to think about breast detection? Like, they don't care about that, other than from a commercial point of view, of course. But we women experience all of these challenges, how to raise a family, all of these things. So the future is where we're talking about innovations that women have created. The future for me is where, when you're talking about names, it's no longer Bill or Jack or Joe, but it's Kemi, it's Tayo, it's Zandi. That's the future that I see, and the future that I think we can get to. Yeah.
Fantastic. Again, you're saying that women feel the pain point the most, and women should be allowed to create solutions for their problems. And you also said that if women are allowed to create the solutions, they will actually create the solution for the community or even for the continent, like Kemisola is doing, and these are solutions that can actually last maybe more than 1,000 years if they are allowed to evolve. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, let me take Kemisola on the future, what the future holds as we wrap up this call. I think Mujung is off the call right now. Maybe we'll join before Kemisola closes. So Kemisola, you're on.
Okay, I can tell you categorically that I can tell you that the future is bright. It's very, very bright because I can see young women, because they're motivated, they need role model, and they're seeing it already. I know the number of young girls, coming to my EM. Oh, I want to go into tech. They don't have tech background, so they want to get involved. And we have so many programs out there advocating for this that come up with free training for women, involve the involvement of women in tech, like what I'm doing, catching them young, going to schools, catching their interest. So with all this, the number we and we are gradually bridging the gap. So I can tell you that the future in the next 10 years, you'll be amazed with the number of women that you have in technology coming up with great solutions. So I can tell you that the future is very, very bright.
Fantastic. You mentioned 10 years, and I'm going to be looking at 4 to 10 years, even though I've seen that global tech companies right now, for Africa, you see the leadership are mostly women, from Meta to Microsoft. They have fantastic women in their leadership team. So like you said, the next 10 years is going to be very, very interesting. I look forward to a rapid growth also in terms of hardware, like you mentioned. Can everyone hear me? It looks like I'm off.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So I'm also as optimistic as you ladies. I know that the future is bright for African women in tech. This conversation can go on and on and on and on and on. I've enjoyed this conversation. I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of insight. The only thing I can say is that in the future, we're still going to be having this kind of conversation. But for today, this is where we're going to wrap up this talk. And I really want to appreciate everyone from Mojoyin to Zandile to Dayo, from Kemisola. I want to appreciate you ladies for all you do in Africa and your impact within the ecosystem. And also thank you for taking out time to join the call this morning. I'm also very hopeful that when we invite you ladies next time, you're gonna join us again on another conversation around women in tech in Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. And also to all our attendees, thank you for joining. And don't forget to also join the Discord channel and meet other great women in Africa building great stuffs. And let's show the world what Africa can build in terms of innovation and tech. One more time, thank you so much and have a great week ahead, and let's keep the ball running and let's keep building. Thank you and bye for now.